Well, good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson, and we hope that you are doing well this glorious day. Again, this is the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of FightbackMedia.com, FightbackMedia.com, FightbackMedia.com. We trust that you are well today. It's always funny to me because things never settle down. And I don't really think they ever have really settled down. I think there's always been something to talk about. But I think that a lot of times, it has been mainstream media that has, sort of led the push on what gets talked about and what doesn't get talked about. And now they don't really have that stranglehold over information that they might have had, in years past. Because we get to decide what we talk about. We get to decide what we investigate. We get to decide. And I think that that's a really, really good thing. Sometimes it does get out of hand, and the focus isn't what it should be or what it's going to be. But I still think it's a good thing. And that's why we have the Morning Report, and that's why we have FightbackMedia.com. Again, thank you for tuning in to the Morning Report here on Facebook, in the Morning Report, on the Morning Report page. Thank you very much. We're doing a Facebook Live, we did an Instagram Live, and a TikTok Live. So we want to, this week, want to be the week of expansion. Get out there in as many platforms at the same time as we can, while we're doing the podcast, the audio podcast here on Spreaker, that ends up on Spotify, that ends up on iHeartRadio or iHeart.com, ends up on Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts and that kind of stuff. So we're in an awful lot of places, which is actually a fantastic thing. When I started doing this, distribution was the most difficult thing. You do a podcast and it would be banging, but what? Who would hear it, and how would you get that to them? That used to be a problem, and now that's not much of a problem anymore. The problem is that there's so many people in space. If there's a problem, there's a problem. All right, I want to talk about some stories here that you may not have heard about. In Philadelphia, there was a rape. I know that doesn't sound, and as horrible as it is, that doesn't sound necessarily to be such a bizarre story. But there is something that mainstream media is going to leave out of this story. But first, let me get to the story. Part of the horror is that no one intervened. No one intervened. And they say it's what they call the bystander effect. So if something is going down, and the more people that are around to watch, the less likely someone is to hop in and help. So you see a 90-year-old man being robbed by a group of kids, or a couple of kids. If you're the only one, you are more likely to intervene than if there are 15 people there. Which is kind of weird, but that's humans. It's kind of weird because you think if there were 15 people and there were two thugs and an old man, 15 of y'all, even if it's all girls, all women, would just go, we could overwhelm them. We could just keep coming in waves. We could send 3 and 3 more and 3 more until at least maybe we scared them off or something. But that's not what happens. The more people that are there, I think the mentality is, well, someone should do something. And then nobody does. You figure, somebody else will do something. Or if somebody else moves, I'll do something. It's called the bystander effect. And the bystander effect is in effect a lot of times. We see that in our political system where we see things are going bad, but nobody does anything. And people say, well, nobody's doing anything. My question is always, what about you? What are you doing? Well, everybody else knows. Why don't they do something? Why don't you do something? Because it's the bystander effect. The more people who know about it, the less likely someone is to act on it. Anyway, the story is a woman was raped on the SEPTA train in Philadelphia. No one did anything. This person terrorized this woman for a total of 40 minutes, nearly an hour. He groped her, touched her inappropriately, before tearing her clothes off and raping her, less than 10 minutes before the police boarded the train and arrested him. An hour this woman went through this hell, right? There is security camera footage. It's not been released to the public due to the ongoing investigation. The onlookers will not be charged. But it would seem that the onlookers were, they were helping, but not doing anything. Prosecutors pursuing the case against the man accused of raping a woman on a commuter train last week did not anticipate charging fellow passengers for not intervening, a spokesperson for the suburban Philadelphia district attorney said. It's still an open investigation. There's no expectation at this time that we will charge passengers, said Margie Aboy, spokesman for the Delaware County District Attorney's Office. Prosecutors did not expect on why the charges were unlikely, did not expand on why the charges are unlikely. Authorities continue to investigate the October 13th attack where a woman was repeatedly touched and groped over the course of a 40-minute ride despite trying to push the 35-year-old Thiston Noy away. According to an arrest affidavit that detailed the surveillance footage from the train. Investors says that Noy ripped the woman's pants off and proceeded to rape her for somewhere between 6 and 8 minutes before officers boarded the train and detained him. So nobody decided that they would pick up something, anything they could find, and bash his damn brains out. Nobody. Police declined to say how many passengers witnessed the assault, but said that it appeared to have some people had their phones up in the direction of the assault, seemingly to film the attack. Police have also declined to say whether the investigators have found any photos or videos of the attack posted online. You know damn well they're coming. Look at Reddit. Look at 4chan. They're out there. Creeps. Nestel said the Philadelphia 911 did not receive any calls about the attack. Nobody even called 911. Nobody called 911. You had your damn phone out. You didn't call 911. You didn't call the police. He said Monday operators at Delaware County 911 were still researching whether it received calls. A member of the SEPTA, that's the Transit Authority, spokesman seeking updated information was not immediately returned Wednesday. Here's what's missing from the story, because this part of the story right there is enough to make you go, what the heck, really? We say this in my house once a day. People suck. People suck. Individuals can be fantastic and heroic and wonderful and intelligent, but people, they suck. And what's missing in the story, which was highlighted in the Daily Wire, is that Noy is an illegal alien. Is an illegal alien. This rape was committed by someone who shouldn't have been in the country in the first place. This rape, this horrible thing that's happened to this woman, this son of a bitch shouldn't have been even here in the first place. And I know that the narrative is that people are coming here looking for a better life. Yeah, and there's a way to do that. We let a lot of people in here every year who do it the correct way, looking for a better life. Happens all the time. Can be done. Illegal aliens can't be here. Should not be here. Because some of them do this. And you can say whatever you want. Yes, sometimes, citizens of this country are in jail for rape and have done horrible things. Yes, But this particular case, this particular time, this woman's life forever changed. Should have never happened. Because this son of a bitch should have never been here. The man who allegedly violently raped a woman on a train in the Philadelphia area as onlookers watched and did nothing is an illegal alien who reportedly has a criminal history and was supposed to be deported years ago. Inouye was reportedly never deported because, quote, he was receiving a withholding of removal from an immigration judge in March of 2019. The Board of Immigration Appeals found that his misdemeanor sex offense was not a, quote, serious crime that would have made him ineligible for such a stay. Okay. I have to wonder what the hell they're talking about. The idea is that this dude was an illegal alien. He shouldn't have been here. He should have been deported. And the second they break the law, no matter what, traffic violation, overtime parking, jaywalking, I don't care what it is, immediate deportation. Put him on a bus right away. Your ass is out of here. That visa, he had a visa that expired in 2015. In the meantime, Inouye was a person who had been a menace to society. He'd been arrested multiple times for public intoxication. He defecated in public. He urinated in public. In 2017, he groped 2 women outside of a homeless shelter. So it wasn't like he had this mental breakdown. He had been this perfect illegal alien who just came here for a better life. This guy had been a pain in the ass and a criminal for some time, for at least 6 years. Someone should have rounded his ass up right away, put him on a bus. You know, they got buses coming north. They should have some buses going south, wherever he came from. It would have been worth it to put him on an airplane, feed him a 5-star meal, and drop his ass off somewhere where he was supposed to be. It would have been worth it. This woman would have paid 10 times the cost of what that would have cost for that to happen. Deport this trash. He shouldn't have been here. He should have been booted years ago. And now he's committed a heinous crime that could have been avoided. This is, yes, and I understand this is not everybody. As a matter of fact, there's hardly anybody, I know. But the idea that this is possible only because there are people in this country who refuse to obey the immigration laws as written, who are screaming for immigration reform, when all we need to do is do what? Is obey the laws that are already written. There isn't any need, there you go, any need for reform if you're not obeying the and it isn't just like the illegal aliens are not obeying the law. It's our own government officials in these places that aren't obeying the law. That's the problem. That's the problem. There wouldn't be this immigration misery. And I mean to the immigrant, if they were where they were supposed to be. You wouldn't have the situations that you have with these folks if they weren't living illegally in our country. And they are living illegally in their country. So the placards that people have, people are illegal. No, you're right, but people do illegal things. People do illegal things, and it causes them to be illegal aliens. Illegal aliens. You're not supposed to be here. You can be a legal alien, which means you can be an illegal alien, an illegitimate alien. And if we were obeying our laws, it may be that this woman's life would not be changed forever. Oh, and the people who are on that train, you suck so bad. All right, speaking of people who suck, Jussie Smollett. You've forgotten about old Jussie, hadn't you? Yes. Fast recap. Jussie Smollett reported that he went to the Subway shop in Chicago in the dead of winter at 2 a.m. to get a sandwich, and was accosted by some Trump supporters wearing MAGA hats, and he had bleach poured on him and a rope tied around his neck that we later found out was a curtain thing, right? One of those curtain swags tied around his neck in a noose fashion, and some bleach poured on him. And we found out that what we found out was that none of that was true. Actually, we found out because of two Nigerian brothers that fessed up to everything that Jussie Smollett was saying was untrue. So we've gone in and out of this, where, of course, Jussie Smollett had filed a false police report, and people were looking for these MAGA hat wearing white guys, and it was this dragnet out, and they spent lots of time and lots of officers' time and overtime pay and all this stuff to find out later that this dude just lied. He just lied. Looking for attention for whatever reason, he had just lied. It wasn't even nothing. None of it was true. It was all, I guess, some internal cry for attention, or at the very most, it was some sort of publicity stunt for somebody who had a dwindling, failing acting career. He was on Empire, and I'm sure everybody here who's watching this watched Empire. Okay, none of you watched Empire, including me. I never watched an episode of Empire. But basically, that's what he had said. It was all a hoax. I mean, first of all, it didn't take much. It didn't take much science to say, you know what? No one would have been able to have a jug of bleach as cold as it was. It would have frozen, because bleach, of course, the Clorox you buy at the grocery store is mostly water, and it would have frozen. So none of it was true. Nobody came to his. I know, and not a lot of people came to his defense. It just wasn't true. Everybody knew he was lying. Everybody knew he was lying. So he sort of became this national punchline. He served as a prime example of how liberal media figures and white liberals will literally believe anything. Liberal America looked idiotic over this public relations fiasco. Smollett faced more charges in February of 2020. He was already charged with filing a false police report and disorderly conduct. Okay, after Jussie Smollett was indicted for the second time on charges of lying to police about a racist and anti-gay attack he allegedly staged on himself in downtown Chicago, renewing a divisive criminal case that drew worldwide attention last year. An indictment came from the special prosecutor who was appointed after Cook County prosecutors dropped the same charges last March. The new charges were sure to reignite many of the tensions that surrounded Smollett a year ago. When his claims first emerged, he drew a groundswell of support from fans and celebrities, and gave an emotional television interview after the attack, after the lie, after the hoax. See, it just didn't stop. He couldn't shut up. He got the attention that he wanted, and he couldn't shut the hell up. He just couldn't. He could not shut up. The case came to reflect the polarized state of political discourse in America. Many Democrats initially called it a shocking instance of Trump-era racism and hate, while Republicans depicted it as another example of liberals rushing to judgment and disparaging the president's supporters as bigots, which is exactly what it was. Special Prosecutor Dan Webb said in a statement that Smollett faces 6 felony counts of disorderly conduct, 6. Charges that stem from 4 separate false reports that he gave to police in which he contended he was a victim of a hate crime, knowing that he was not the victim of a crime. He knew damn well he wasn't a victim of a crime. He tried to have the case dismissed. Nope, sorry, not going to happen, Jussie. The case against the hate crime hoaxer is moving forward, and I'm sure we can all just have a laugh again at how outrageous the story has become. You just have to come clean, dude. It just has... Fess up. Take your punishment. Fess up, take your punishment. Just say, hey, listen, I lost my damn mind. I don't know. I was drinking. I was on drugs. I'm going to rehab. Whatever. Do the whole rehab thing. I need to go to rehab, I need to find Jesus. Whatever you need to do. Just let it go. And whatever punishment they have for you, whatever crime, the chances of you doing any jail time are probably slim, even with this stuff. It's just probably not going to happen. Yeah, we're going to hear about it again a little bit, but you know what? Jussie, just fess up, bro. Just tell them the truth. Tell them that you lost your mind. You were drinking. You were on meth. Whatever it is. Just tell them. Say none of this happened, and I was crazy. Forgive me. Find the Lord. Something. All right. Listen, I want to, folks who are listening locally or watching locally on Facebook Live. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to, when you get flowers, I want you to get flowers from my friend Christine Vascontella at Blooming Days Flower Shop. Blooming Days Flower Shop is the premier, as far as I'm concerned, florist in the entire Tampa Bay area. And she does everything. Weddings, memorials, quinceañeras, you name it. Whatever gathering you have, Blooming Days Flower Shop can provide the flower arrangement for you. And Christmas is coming up. A lot of businesses are back open. A lot of people are decorating. I don't think we started Christmas this year as early as we started Christmas last year. At my house, we started Christmas in October. The tree was up in October and stayed up through the Super Bowl. I'm thinking that it's probably going to go up early next month, but I'm pretty sure the tree at my house will go up before Thanksgiving this year. So if you've got a situation where you need to decorate for Christmas, there's not a better designer, there's not a better crew, there's not a better price, there's not a better anything than Blooming Days Flower Shop. So listen, you can hit Christine up here on Facebook. Just type in Blooming Days Flower Shop, or you can go to her Instagram at Blooming Days, or you can hit her up on Twitter or on TikTok, whatever. She's everywhere. Or you can do something traditional, like go to the website www.bloomingdays.com. Stop going to 1-800-Flowers. Stop going to www.flowers.com. Stop going to those people who take your order and then send it out to the local florists while screwing them on price all along. Shop, and if you're not gonna, and if you don't live in the area, go to your local florist for this kind of stuff. Go directly to them. Support your local businesses. And if you're in the Tampa Bay area, same day delivery. Fantastic, and you get to you get to deal with Christine, who is fabulous, by the way, fabulous. All right, the Center for Disease Control Director has basically decided that she wants to keep your kids in masks for the foreseeable future, forever, possibly even. So speaking during a coronavirus press conference yesterday, Centers for Disease Control Director Rochelle Walensky said that young children ages 5 to 11 will still need to wear masks even if they're vaccinated against the disease. Didn't they tell you that if you got the jab, you didn't have to wear the mask anymore? Yeah. After we have authorization from the FDA and recommendation from the CDC, we will be able to scale up the pediatric vaccination. That said, it will take some time, and as I just noted, as we head into these winter months, we know we cannot be complacent. Walensky said, we are going to continue to recommend masks in all schools for all people in those schools, and we will look forward to scaling up pediatric vaccinations during this period of time. Well, except in Florida, because we said, no. Folks, you need about 3.5% of people. You need about 3.5% of people to not comply, to say no. That's all you need. If 3.5% of the people who were there on that train had done something, that woman would not have had her life changed. She would have not been raped on that train. 3.5%. That might just be one person, or it might be two people. That's all you need. As we are moving forward, as these recommendations come out, that we know are foolish and ridiculous and outrageous, we need about 3.5% of people to stand up and just say no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I did a story yesterday about a school district in California. That you guys who listened yesterday or who watched this on I think we were on TikTok yesterday, TikTok Live, heard the story about this school district in California, who the principal of the school, this principal, her first thought was, I gotta email the parents and tell them to send their kids with raincoats and warm jackets, because we cannot have them eating indoors during lunch. They have to eat their lunch outside. So, and we are looking for rain this week, so it would be a good idea if you would send raincoats for your kids, because they're going to be eating outside. That was her first inclination. What? What the hell? Are you serious? Those are the people who are following these people like Rochelle Walensky. Carol Markowitz tweeted, "There is absolutely no off-ramp for sticking kids in masks for 8 hours a day with hysterical people like Walensky in charge. There's no off-ramp. They are perfectly okay with this forever." While the FDA has not approved a coronavirus vaccine for children 5 to 11, but the White House has put out a plan to vaccinate the age group Wednesday morning. According to the data and doctors, the risk to children from the disease is extremely low. And we've seen that. The data says that. Not the models, not the predictions, not the prognostications. The data has said that the risk to disease for those children in that age group is extremely low. And they are not passing the disease on to grandma. Little Billy is not going to kill grandma. Not from the Rona. Little Billy may have something else. But that's the truth. In anticipation for the FDA's Independent Advisory Committee meeting on October 26th and the CDC's Independent Advisory Committee meeting on November 2nd and 3rd, today the Biden administration is announcing a plan to ensure that if a vaccine is authorized for children 5 to 11, it is quickly distributed and made conveniently and equitably available. What does that mean? Equitably available to families across the country. Has not this vaccine been equitably available? You can get it at the Walgreens. You can get it at the CVS. Hell, there's even Walgreens and CVS's in the hood. Don't know any hood that doesn't have a CVS or Walgreens. I passed by a table, for those of you who are local, on 7th Avenue, over by Centro Soriano, I guess. You know, in that area on 7th Avenue. Centro Soriano, that's not Centro Ybor, I'm sorry. And there was a table, just like a card table out there with some people sitting around it. And you can walk down the street and just walk into the building there, get a jab. No appointment necessary. No medical treatment, nothing. Just, hey, I'm here, hook me up, right? Seems like it's readily available if you want it. Why aren't you asking the question, why aren't people wanting it? Well, I can answer that question. It's because of the misinformation that's come out from people like Anthony Fauci, Deborah Birx, Rochelle Walensky, people in the Biden administration, Jen Psaki, on and on and on and on. Dr. Sanjay Gupta. That's who. It's the misinformation, it's the lies, it's the half-truths, it's the dire predictions of death that have simply not happened. The fact of the matter is that nobody believes them. Nobody believes them. They don't. They know what they've seen with their own eyes right around them. So they don't believe you. They don't believe you, CNN. They don't believe you, MSNBC. They don't believe you, ABC, NBC, and CBS. They don't believe you. They don't. And it isn't because they're listening to me on Facebook. That's not why they don't believe you. They listen to me. You know, as much as I hate to admit it, you know, CNN's circulation is a hell of a lot bigger than mine, as is even MSNBC. I'm not making the difference here. I could tell you to do whatever, and it wouldn't make a tinker's damn worth a difference. I'm not the problem. People who are listening to the people I mentioned, they don't believe them. And I don't believe them either. All right, we got to get out of here and make room for somebody else. So until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody. And for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.